Hi, welcome to the Medicare Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Kuhn, and your Medicare advisor. This episode is going to be really on the number one thing I think people should not do, the biggest mistake you could make during the annual election period, especially for 2025. It's currently let's just call it October 7th today, and October 15th is a kickoff the annual election period here in 2024. I had a running list of what I thought was a great, list of things that people should really not do until I saw something. I go, this kind of deserves its own podcast in of itself. And I was reading, and something had popped up about Medicare, and I took a look, and it was from one of these neighborhood apps. And I periodically will see things on there, and I'm always amused by what and how people respond to it. You might get a few insurance agents, so I can help you, give me a call, promoting themselves. But the biggest thing that I saw on there is, number one, the incorrect information that was presented. Somebody had complained that their prescription drug coverage just went from $30-some to $480-some a month for next year. They couldn't believe it. And I saw this and I'm like, this is preposterous. Their number one is not a prescription drug plan that costs nearly that much for next year. I've already run the report, and I looked at all the Part D plans for 24, compare them to all the changes for 25. One of the things I will tell you, not one of them went down. You see Medicare saying, well, we're going to reduce prescription drug prices next year. In 25, Advantage plan premiums are going to go down. That's just not the case. All of them went up, but nobody was near $480-some. So here's what kind of took place in the line of comments. You started seeing people name the company, said, well, get rid of them. They're bad-mouthing them. They're bashing them. And I'll tell you what, that by far is the cheapest insurance company that has standalone Part D plans available in this area. And we've seen quite a few people with it, and it works great. The premium is $38 and change. Is nowhere near $400-some. I think they're seeing their deductible as opposed to what the premium is going to be. You should never. The number one mistake is getting advice from messaging boards, your neighborhood community, and people that really don't know or have any reason to give you advice on what they're talking about. Maybe some experience, perhaps. But it's like the old saying goes, you don't get medical advice, something serious, from friends. You should not do that with this either. People are so misinformed, they don't understand it. They're putting a lot of bad information out there, and it's causing people to make really bad decisions. I was on a phone call. Give you an example. On a phone call with somebody asking me questions across state, different state than where I'm at. And a friend had mentioned, well, you should look at this. I almost said the company. I'm not going to. And I said, you realize that company where you live is not good. All the major medical facilities, your doctor's networks won't even accept it or bill them. And people just shout things out like you should do this. They've got no basis in knowledge to be giving advice, and nor should you be taking it if you're really smart about it. There is a number in this messaging board. You should talk to this person or look at these YouTube videos or podcasts people are putting out there that a lot of people follow. And they said this and that. And this and that is not true here. This and that is true in a lot of other states, but it's not true here. So it really doesn't apply. And people are taking that information, they're passing it around, and other people are making decisions based on it. You really need to talk to a local expert that knows your market and knows Medicare. Do not ask random people in a messaging board and complain there, and take what people say with a grain of salt. If you're making decisions that way, I'll guarantee you're asking and you will have problems. There's no question about it. I can't believe the amount of poor information that's being put out there. It's horrendous. And people are buying into it. And I'm hearing people talk about it. So be really careful. This is a critical year. You've really got to take a hard look at the information and the facts when making a decision. Don't look and judge a book by its cover. Don't say, oh, this plan has this deductible without knowing anything else around it or how your prescriptions are going to be impacted by the Inflation Reduction Act, how troop expenses are calculated, and what you're actually going to pay out of pocket. Because the meat and potatoes of a drug plan, not just what you're seeing on the surface with premium deductible, is really going to determine how much you're going to pay in 2025. So please don't make any decisions based on what you're hearing people yap about on messaging boards. That's the biggest mistake you can make. Don't listen to friends saying you should get this plan because it might not be right for you. Everybody's different. Your networks could be different. Where you live is certainly different. All those plans are different. Stay away from the garbage information that's out there in the hype. Even the stuff that you're seeing, and I'll probably talk about that in another podcast, but I've seen major news agencies, Reuters, putting out information from Medicare that is 100% incorrect. What they're telling people that's going to happen in 25 is absolutely wrong. And I can prove that, and I will talk about that in another podcast. So hang in there. You've got plenty of time till December 7th to make a decision, but get your news and your information from the right sources. Don't get it from messaging boards and friends. I hope this helps and keeps you out of trouble during the annual election period, and hopefully you make some great choices and find yourself a great plan for next year. Thank you.